Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. This is a take two because I swore in the first 30 seconds. Okay, so this review is courtesy of one of my former TWA cohorts, James. We swapped a couple CDs. I had some duplicate Alice Cooper CDs. He had a duplicate Disturbed CD. Up until this point, I had never listened to Disturbed outside of the radio tracks and whatnot. Song I knew best from them was, of course, their cover of The Sound of Silence, which everybody knows at this point, right? Because, it's just really that good. So now I have a copy of the CD that has Sound of Silence on it. This is the basic version. I know there was a release that had bonus tracks on it. That's how I ended up with this copy, because James bought the other copy and already had this one, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so I'm going to just right up front say the first half of the CD, cool. Second half of the CD, were it not for The Sound of Silence, would be a throwaway. And the reason why is the first half of the CD lays down a really good flow with some real diversity between songs, and you got a good mix up on the feel and the rhythm and whatnot between each song. When you get to the second half of the CD, with the exception of The Sound of Silence, it's all just basically feels like a rehash of the first half of the CD. So the album opens up with a great little instrumental number called The Eye of the Storm. I really wish there had been more of this. I really felt like it was only getting started and it had somewhere more to go. And then that goes into a rapid hard slam. Oh, I should mention, it's only been 21 seconds, which is why I feel like it could have gone longer. Then it goes into a rapid hard slam on the song Immortalized. And the reason why I say rapid hard slam is you got this really cool kind of instrumentally thing going on. Not heavy, not, crazy or anything like that, but still got some good, beef to it. But then it goes slamming right into a wall of like double kick drum, loud, like it's just a really rapid change. That being said, Immortalized, not a bad tune to get the album fired up after the instrumental. Well, I'm not huge on, the hit the wall change. It really does, having the one kind of set precedent going softer, a little more, I hate saying softer, but compared to everything else, softer. Okay, compared to everything else on this album, except for The Sound of Silence, softer. Okay. And then Immortalized being such a heavy track right afterwards, sometimes that can really work. In this particular case, for some people it would work because it would be like, whoa, hey, got me, pulled my attention. Other people, for me, I found it too jarring. But Immortalized, good tune as well. I really enjoy that. Then that goes in the Vengeful One, which I also enjoyed. Now, Immortalized in the Vengeful One, it's funny, when I first started listening to this album, I was listening in the car, I wasn't looking at the track numbers because I'm watching the road as I'm driving. And The Eye of the Storm, I didn't realize was an instrumental track at the beginning. I thought The Eye of the Storm ran into right away, like purposely did the hard slam to jump into the next, or to go into the rest of the song. I didn't realize it was two different songs. And I actually thought there was a whole third song in there that, that's because the way it blends going from Immortalized into the Vengeful One, all three tracks, just kind of the way it all flowed, it felt like there actually was four tracks in there for some reason when, there was only three, and I don't have a good answer on that one. Then you got Open Your Eyes. I don't mind this one either. Open Your Eyes was one of those ones that you can tell Disturbed kind of was huge with wrestling fans and stuff like that, because a lot of these songs have that wrestling arena kind of sound, but without having that big arena rock kind of sound. You got kind of some long drawn out choruses to really kind of get the crowd pumped up. A lot of the energy in it is all pumped up and whatnot. And Open Your Eyes really is like that. That's kind of, to me, where we are. Then you got The Light, which I thought was a really nice, pretty song. And it's not pretty in the way that Sound of Silence is. Sound of Silence has that real haunting kind of thing going on. This one's got more of a pretty kind of vibe going on. Pretty within a hard rock, heavy metal kind of vein, but, pretty vibe going on. Really enjoyed it. That's uh, topped off with What Are You Waiting For, which I think complements that perfectly. You go from something nice and soft and get you back into something nice and hard. This is that kind of slam I was talking about earlier, but this one works a lot better because that Eye of the Storm track really was a really good instrumental track, but it really felt like it kind of just cuts off abruptly and goes into the next thing. I felt it should have been more, and it really bugs me that it wasn't. What Are You Waiting For is honestly the last track I really dig on this album until I get to The Sound of Silence. There's other songs in there that aren't bad. They got great catchy choruses. It just, to me, they get into that repetitive AC/DC kind of zone. And if you're not specifically into Disturbed, like I'm an AC/DC fan, so I don't mind when AC/DC does it. I'm going to say I'm not a Disturbed fan. So it doesn't work for me as much. Another band going with this would be 3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace always has a very similar kind of vibe and sound going on, but not the same vibe and sound. Like if you really like it, you like it, but not everybody's going to be into it. AC/DC, not everybody's going to be into it. Disturbed, not everybody's going to be into it. So, the next track you got, Your Mind, which, whatever. Who, okay, whatever. Save Our Last Goodbye, yeah, alright, whatever. Fire It Up, I actually kind of don't mind Fire It Up when it gets in the choruses. I actually find that one kind of enjoyable a little bit, but not really, like, mentioning it like this, I feel I've already given it a lot of credit. The Sound of Silence, okay, I could go on to a long, giant diatribe on this one, man. Dude's voice is freaking so pretty on this one, man. I really dig his voice, man. And, I hope he really does protect it and keep it so he can do this song for years and years to come. And it's funny, I don't mind the original Simon and Garfunkel tune, but I'm going to be honest, man, I like this one a hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. And then from there we go Never Wrong and Who Taught You to Hate. Yeah. I'm going to show you some of the album work here because I think this is pretty cool. I really like that. I think that's a beautiful drawing. Okay. Would I suggest this album? That's always, ultimately what my rating system is for an album, right? Would I suggest this album? And if you can get a used copy of the album, now that this has been around for a while, I mean, this is going back to 2014, so it's been around for a while. So if you get your hands on a used copy of the album, I would absolutely say go ahead, pick it up. If you've heard Disturbed on the radio and you really honestly like all the radio hits, and you're looking for a CD, this is a good CD to get into, man, that way. If you really like all the radio hits you've heard. I'm not even big on all the radio hits, right? I'll be honest, I'm not a Disturbed fan. I can appreciate Disturbed. I praise and respect where it's due. Just, I'm not a fan. And that's okay. But there are definitely people out there that are fans. So Disturbed is one of those bands where I would say it's worth checking them out. Get into it. Listen to more than just The Sound of Silence. I think The Sound of Silence, well, it can show you what the band is capable of. A lot of the album doesn't quite live up to it. I mean, you're looking at 13 tracks on here, and 7 I'm good with. Totally good. Include Fire It Up as an iffy track, you get 8 that I'm okay with. And 8 out of 13 is not bad. 7 out of 13 is not so great. Depends on how you want to look at it. That's why I said I would recommend it used, but I would not necessarily recommend it brand new. But that's just me. That's my views, my thoughts, my opinions. And there's other people out there that are going to definitely disagree with me, and it's okay that they disagree with me on it because they're clearly Disturbed fans. They clearly enjoy Disturbed, and that's all this comes down to. And to be completely fair and honest, if I'm out doing a road trip, like Tracy, my wife, and I were talking about doing a road trip for our honeymoon, and there's a good possibility this album will be in the car because the whole way through with the driving energy and everything else like that on it, it really does get the energy going, really does get the blood pumping, really does go through. If you're into working out, like if you're a weightlifter, you're into working out, getting that heavy on. The Sound of Silence is the only song on this album that really will kind of pull down that energy a little bit. And even then, if you do it right, you use The Sound of Silence as your kind of your slow down period while you're working out, you're good to go, man. Otherwise, you got some pure adrenaline on here. So yeah, let me know what you think, folks. Am I being too harsh on this album? I feel I'm being fair to it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That's what the comment section's for. Let me know, folks. And on your way down there, you'll probably see a few links. Feel free to check those out. There's a like button, a subscribe button, a little bell for notifications. Please help hit those. Those help me out, help you out, all that other fun stuff. Otherwise, peace, love, take care.